Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for coming out tonight, or if you're watching this on TV, thank you for staying home. Thank you for making the lazier choice for the comic. I appreciate both equally. Before we start, we have a great show for you tonight. Before we start, I think one thing we can all agree on is we could do with more inspiration in this world, more heroism, and it's the small acts of heroism, the small maverick acts of heroism. I'll give you an example. I was on a flight back from LA to New York a while ago, and there was a big storm in the middle of America, and it seemed we were going to be delayed taking off. And, you know, people on the plane were disproportionately upset by that news, having lost all sense of perspective. And then the pilot came over the loudspeaker and he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to get us to New York on time. Because when I get this plane into the air, I'm going to fly it like I stole it." Here's the thing. He could have not said that. He could have thought those words but not projected them through his face. But he knew how happy he could make a metal cylinder full of strangers, and he said it. He said it. And that, for me, defines heroism. And it reminded me... It reminded me that I was lucky enough to be on the receiving end of one of the most heroic acts of friendship I've ever heard of. When I first came here to America, I didn't know anyone here, and my best friend Dan could see that I was upset before I left England, and he said, "I bought you this teddy bear. Don't squeeze his tummy until you get to your new apartment in New York." So I flew to this strange city in a strange land, and it was very hot that summer. As a British person, I'm just not equipped to deal with those kind of temperatures, either physically or emotionally. And I unpacked my things, and I felt very rootless and lost and alone. And there at the bottom of the case was the teddy bear. And I picked him up, and I gazed into his button eyes. And I squeezed him, I did. I'm not ashamed to say that. I squeezed him in the tummy. And these are the exact words that bear said to me. He said, "You will die on your own in a dark, cold room." And I have never loved my friend Dan like I loved him in that moment. Mainly because I know how those bears are made. You record the personalised message into the little box, then you take it over to the teddy bear man, who then tests it to check it's working before sewing it into the bear's stomach. So I knew there had to be that moment between my friend Dan and the teddy bear man. As he pressed the button, listened to the message, and then just stared at him. With an instinctive decision to make. Was this a maverick act of friendship, or was this a serial killer? And I know what my friend Dan looks like, and he took a gamble that day. Not an insignificant gamble. And then when you're on TV, a little bit, sometimes, like I am occasionally, you get heroic sentences spewed at you by strangers in the street. Well, back here, right here in New York, this guy came up to me and he said, "I love The Daily Show." And I said, "Thank you." And again, that could have been it. But no. He had something special brewing in his face. And he said to me, I promise you this is true, he said, "I imagine you spend your whole day at work, sitting around the office, snorting cocaine off a penguin's beak." Where to begin? First, that is not a phrase. Secondly, I've never taken cocaine, nor do I intend to. But for what I know of that drug, snorting it off a penguin's beak would be one of the worst imaginable ways to imbibe that substance. Penguins are easily startled creatures. Liable to panic if a strange human being lunges towards them nose first, before waddling back to their natural habitat, water, which is pretty much kryptonite to powder. Also, I've never owned a penguin, nor do I intend to. But if I'm ever given the sacred responsibility of being custodian of one of those flightless birds, I will love that penguin and will not see its primary purpose as being a balancing point for Class A narcotics. But we have some fantastic comedians for you tonight. Stick around after the break. We'll be right back. So welcome back. You are in for a real treat now. Please welcome the wonderful Hannibal Buress.
Hey, this is cool. I like this. I got a message on Facebook. It said, hey man, let me know next time you have a show in Chicago. I don't remember you being that funny in high school. I'm curious. I wrote him back, hey man, I don't remember you at all. So I got nephews and nieces. I understand my nephew's always crying. I'm like, dude, why are you crying? Your life is great. All you do is eat applesauce and take dumps. That's your day. My sister's like, Hannibal, he's crying because he's sleepy. I'm like, why does he just go to sleep then? Because that's what I do when I'm sleepy. I just go to sleep. I don't stay woke. Like, I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy and exhausted. I'm so tired right now. What should I do about this? Hey, man, just go to sleep. Because right now you're wasting time. You could be spending sleeping with your crying. Why aren't you a more practical baby? I think this baby's really horrible at time management. He needs to learn how to manage his time more effectively. My niece is 4, she's very smart, 2 smartphone, good. She was coloring one day, and I tried to connect with her on like a coloring level. I grabbed the red crayon, put a little red on the paper. I grabbed the blue crayon, put a little blue on the red. I was like, look, Peyton, red and blue makes purple. She was like, I got a purple crayon right here. It's like, touche, that was the dumbest I ever felt in life, and a 4-year-old did it. I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I'm a visionary. And I'll tell you what we need in America right now. We need a new famous blind guy. We need a new famous blind guy. I'll tell you why, because Ray Charles died. Stevie Wonder may only have like 15 years left or something. And when he dies, we're gonna be out of luck for references, metaphors, and analogies. That's why I got my own blind guy. I met him at the store, and he let me use his name. So now if I'm at a basketball game, I'm like, ref, that was a foul. Simon Wilson could have seen that. Everybody like, who the hell is Simon Wilson? I'm like, that's the next big blind guy. You don't know about Simon Wilson? He made the list of the top 10 blind guys you should know about this year. Man, your haircut is messed up. What? Is Simon Wilson your barber? Who the hell is Simon Wilson? I just got this new office job, and it's weird working in an office because I don't know how many times I'm supposed to say hello to people throughout the day. Because I keep seeing the same people. I'm like, I saw you 45 minutes ago. Should I say hello or should I just grumble under my breath? I don't know what to do. I just made my rule. If I say hello to you 3 times on Monday, I say nothing to you on Tuesday. You're helloed out for the week. It's great. We got interns at the job. You can just tell them to do stuff. You gotta be nice, though. I had this cat fax something. I handed him a couple pages. And I'm handing him another page. Say, hey, man, fax something for yourself, too. That's the type of guy I am. I'm a nice guy. I live with my girl. That could be interesting. Sometimes she'll walk around our place mad. I won't know why she's mad. Just walking around mad. I don't play those games, so I'll just trip her. I don't know what she was mad about before, but I definitely know she was mad that I just tripped her. So maybe now she'll open up while she's icing her knee and get it. How many times can you trip your girl before it becomes domestic violence? You gotta make sure it's clear space, no tables around. You don't want anything bad to happen. Sometimes I come home late, like 3 a.m., and she gets mad. And I'm like, I wanted to be out till 3. I wasn't doing anything bad. I was just hanging out till 3. Like, you realize I could, murder somebody and still make it home at 7 o'clock. So I just started making up stuff for where I was. Where were you? You came home. I was having a high-stakes dice game with Scott Baio. That's what I was doing. I hit him for 5 G's. He doesn't know when to stop. He's got a problem. Well, what would you do if I stayed out to 3 in the morning? Well, I play video games and celebrate your absence. Thanks a lot, y'all. Later.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. No flipping. No flipping. Please welcome the wonderful Pete Holmes.
Feeling pretty good. I live here in New York City. Yeah. I live in Bushwick. I live in Bushwick. Sure. Okay. Welcome, brothers. I'd say East Williamsburg, but I'm not listing it on Craigslist just yet. Not yet. I love living in New York City, though. Any part of the city, any big city, really. Because there's so many people in this city, so much happening, that it's impossible to tell if your apartment is haunted. Think about that. That's true. Because you can hear anything at any hour. There's always something to blame it on. It can be midnight, hear someone walking around moaning with chains. You're like, old man Rosenthal. Out for one of his kinky midnight chain walks. Can be anything. The walls can be on fire, things flying around the room, windows breaking. Just like, Puerto Rico won. Then I go back to bed. Go back to sleep. Festive group. I was feeling a little low energy before the show. I had an energy drink. I don't know if you've seen this. You know how they have 5-hour energy? They got a new one now called 6-hour power. Right next to it, just like, screw you, 5-hour energy. You need 6 hours, 60 more minutes of alertness. That last hour, when you're tired, you're gonna get violated by a Yeti. You need 6 hours of power to ward off his woodland advances. I was gonna try it, I'm being honest with you. I was gonna try it. I reached for it, hand trembling, until I saw on the package it said 2.5 times stronger than Red Bull. Yeah. Who was drinking Red Bull. Like, yeah, pretty strong. But they could kick this up 2, nay, 2.5 more times. Because I don't have paranoia and diarrhea immediately. I'm looking for first sip, soil myself, think that guy's a Nazi. That's the kind of performance I'm looking for in an energy drink. I'm waiting for the next one, just 7-hour ultimate face orgasm. Drink it, you sleepy bitch! Right on the package. Why? Why are you speaking to us this way? Said Nazi. I'm not racist, but do you think at the very first meeting of the KKK, anyone pushed for the correct spelling of Klan? Just some guy in the back with a torch driving him crazy, like. It's KKC! Then they get him. They're gonna get him for that. I just like the idea of a guy who hates bad spelling and people who are different. Guys are nice. Just in Pennsylvania, you know, a lifelong dream of mine is to go into an Amish neighborhood and just go up to an Amish child and show him Star Wars, like, this is happening! Just run away. Be like, this is real! Out there! Ha-ha! Bushes, nightfall. He's like, I could have a lightsaber! Butter, he's back to the butter. Silly. Technology can be weird, though. You know what I've been getting a lot of is phantom vibrations. You know what I'm talking about? Where I'll be on my cell phone, but I'll feel in my pocket like... Hold on. I think I bought another phone. Nope. It's my leg. And we just accept that. We're like, was your leg vibrating as unto a cell phone? Stop the investigation. That makes sense. That's weird. What's even weirder is there was a time before we had cell phones when we were getting those. 10, 15 years ago, it'd just be like, I don't even have a guess as to what that could be. That makes me think, what physical quirks are we getting now that will correspond to future technologies not yet invented? Like in the future, every time you get an eye twitch, you're gonna be like, oh, thought I just downloaded the first season of Everybody Loves Raymond. Onto my digital contact lens. That was a phantom. It's a phantom, but that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. Activate! That's how you do it. Activate! Oh, yeah! The sound comes out your mouth for no reason. I'm gonna call an audible. Thank you, guys. Good night. Good night. Thank you very much.
Pete Holmes, ladies and gentlemen. Pete Holmes. Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the break. Our next act has an American accent. You might think he's pronouncing words correctly. You will be wrong about that. Please welcome the wonderful Matt McCarthy.
Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right to applaud. Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. The polite thing to do, yes. You guys like the band Kiss? Yeah. All right. Because I wish I could have been there. Been a little fly on the wall when they sat down, looked each other in the eyes, and had a meeting. and said, from now on, we're gonna wear makeup on our faces and be crazy characters on stage. Because I assume immediately when Paul Stanley pitched the idea, without any hesitation or regard, Peter Criss goes, I call cat! Called it. And then Ace Frehley says, all right, Paul, well, here's what I want to be. Because in my mind, for some reason, they're English. I don't know why. I have no idea why. They're from New York City. They have obnoxious Brooklyn accents. But in my brain, they're from jolly old London. Hi, what's happening with Kiss? We're going to rock and roll for you. 3, 4. So Ace Frehley says, all right, Paul, well, here's what I want to be. I want to be a star that came down from heaven with a guitar to play rock and roll for everyone. So that's what I'll be. I'll be a star that came from heaven and play rock and roll for everyone. And then Paul Stanley said, well, no, actually, Ace, you can't be a star. I'm already going to be the star. I had the idea before the meeting, and I came up with my character, the Star Child, and that's why I came here for the rest of you, so you can catch up and get your own characters. Well, that's not fair, Paul. That's not fair. You said we could be whatever we wanted. He screamed out, cat. And I'll be damned if he's not going to be a bloody cat on stage. Well, no, actually, I had the idea, like I said, I'd be the Star Child. You can be any other character you want, so pick anything else you want, Ace. All right, Paul. All right, here's what I'm going to do then. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the Space Ace, Paul. Space, Paul. Space. That's all the stars, Paul. That's all the stars. So if I'm space and you're a star, then you're just a little bitty bit of me. I'm not better than you. Suck. And Gene Simmons wasn't at the meeting because even in those early days, pre-makeup, he was still too busy having sex with a groupie in the next room. You could get in a time machine, go back in time, and you could see any band you want. What band would you see? Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Doors, Beatles. A lot of people always say the Beatles. The #1 band I would not get into a time machine and see is the Beatles. No thanks. This would be me at any Beatles concert anywhere in history. Shh. Will you all just shh? Will you all just shut the f*** up? Stop it! You know, they're gonna stop playing shows because of you girls. Just watch and listen, please. You know, I'm from the future. Ringo's gonna be the last one alive. I've been thinking a lot lately about the differences between musicians and comedians because I recorded a comedy CD. Part of me feels like I can't do any of those jokes anymore because they're on the CD, you know, and if somebody came to the show and they had the CD, they'd be like, oh, cool, this is the first joke on the CD. That's the first joke he's doing. I know this joke. Yeah, this is the second joke on the CD. This is the second joke he's doing. That's weird. Okay, yeah, this is definitely the third joke on the CD. This is the third joke he's doing. This guy sucks. He doesn't have any other jokes but the ones on the CD. Yeah, this is the fourth joke on the CD. This guy's a hack. This guy's the worst. I hate this guy. I wish this guy would die. This guy sucks. I hate him and his hack CD. Honey, go get the CD out of the car, and then I'm gonna have him autograph it after the show, and I'm gonna shoot him in front of his Asian wife. But you go see a musician, And people are like, oh my God, I hope he plays that song. You know the song that we listened to 17 times on the way here? That song. The song that's the only song they play on the radio, that's the song I want to hear. I hope he plays that song exactly the way I know how he plays it. It's the song that they play in all the trailers for all the movies and all the previews for all the shows, and when MTV showed videos, this is the only video they played. Oh my God, he's playing the song. He's playing the song. This is the song I wanted to hear exactly the way it's supposed to sound in my mind and in my brain and in my car. Oh my God! Oh my God! This is the song! I love this song! This is the song! What if he plays the whole CD? This is the next song on the CD. What if he plays the whole CD? In order! In order! He's playing the whole CD! He's playing the whole CD in order! Exactly the way it's supposed to sound, like I'm used to it sounding. I can't believe I'm here to watch him play the CD that I already own and have listened to. Oh, I'm a lucky boy! I'm a lucky boy! I'm a lucky boy! All right, that's all, everybody. I'm Matt McCarthy.
Matt McCarthy, everyone! We'll take a break now. We'll be right back. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Welcome back to the show. Strap in. You're ready for something special. Please welcome the magnificent Janeane Garofalo.
Hi! Hi, everybody. I would like to, before we get started, I've been doing this a lot lately. I'd like to check where my tights are. Right? Yep. Right. All the way up. All the way up. In this economy, don't kid yourself. All the way up. They're called Spanx with an X. And if you're not familiar with Spanx, it's a foundation garment. And because here's what's happening. I'm a middle-aged lady, and as a middle-aged lady, I find that my balls are dropping at an alarming rate. And you know, as you may or may not know, if some of you are slightly older, it's like having a soup ladle down there just clanging around. And in the dog days of August, sometimes it sticks to the side of your leg. So I find that some talc and a pair of Spanx, I get a lot more done in a day. Renewed vigor. It's because actually it just the Spanx, they just kind of, you know, because when these come off, it's like a bunch of water balloons or a melting candle. It just sort of keeps all your troops in one foxhole, so to speak, and I like it that way. Now, I want to tell you a bit of a cautionary tale about the Spanx if you do decide to go down that road, and I would advise you to do so because it's just using your noodle. I'm on the plane to Australia, right? That's 22 hours. And put it this way, around hour 21, I had my Spanx on, some movement pants, a hoodie, and I just wasn't feeling at the top of my freshness game. I didn't feel like the lady I knew I could be when I landed in Australia. And out of respect for Australia, they've been through enough, I wanted to be a lady. So here's what I did. Here's where the cautionary, slightly indelicate part comes in. I went to the airplane bathroom. I took some hand sanitizer. I hit the key areas. Wait! That's not what you're thinking. I hit the key areas. I did not take hand sanitizer and touch me. I touched my Spanx with the hand sanitizer in what would be the gusset area. And I want to tell you why. A, it just makes sense. I'm a pragmatist, if nothing else. B, the swine flu. It's a resourceful virus. Any portal of opportunity. We don't know. So, we don't know. So, again, I'm a lady. So I land in Australia. Now, here's the thing about putting hand sanitizer in your Spanx. It burns. Oh, my God. It burns terribly. And that's an evergreen burn. You won't soon forget you've done that. And I believe that I was victimized by a chemical thing called deflagration. Now, deflagration is a chemical process wherein heat is ignited in a kind of a closed area, and it produces a very rapid and intense burn. Yes, it does. And deflagration, because let's be frank, it's a bit of a petri dish in the area. You might as well have a Tesla coil and a Bunsen burner down there. It's very complex. It's like an ant farm. And in a way. And So it's an evergreen burn, as I mentioned. It'll burn as you put your tray tables up and the plane lands. It'll burn as you wait for your luggage. It'll burn as you negotiate Australia morning traffic. And I knew I couldn't go right to the hotel. I had to do a couple of radio shows before I go to the hotel. So yeah, exactly. So I'm going through it, and it's all-consuming. It's an all-consuming burn. And then I get to the hotel, finally. Time is of the essence. It's almost as if I have crazy leg syndrome. What is that, restless leg? I got the crazy legs. And so I'm in the lobby, I get the key, I run up to my hotel room, open the door, Asian family. What the? I go running back downstairs, and I say to the concierge, there's a family in my room, so sorry. Now, they don't just give you a new card key. They have to get to the bottom of this. The chain of command and housekeeping. They have to understand how it could be that there is a room that was supposed to be ready that's not ready. June, July, August. Anyway, so I'm dying. And then another concierge comes out and says, Miss Garofalo, we're so sorry for the inconvenience. Here's a coupon for a free massage at the spa. Now, here's why I can't get a massage. Couple of reasons. The face hole in the table. It's not comfortable, and at my age, I can't have the pulling. I can't have it. I can't have it. I also feel like when I'm getting a massage, that's when they're gonna find the lump. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like somebody will be manipulating and go, hey, did you know? No. Because if you don't know, if you don't do any self-examinations or see a doctor ever, you'll live forever. That's how you do it. The diagnosis, it's what gets you. So you just have a don't ask, don't tell policy with any and all bodily functions. That's how we do it. And also, here's something interesting. Have you ever noticed nobody has ever ordered a grapefruit the size of a tumor? Ever. Ever. And yet, there's no reciprocity. Here's something I wanted to share with you. I brought it with me. Anybody who's flown internationally recently, the immigration card, the customs card, this right here, Homeland Security at its finest. This is all that stands betwixt you and utter chaos. So, when I was flying internationally, I just want to share with you how we're being protected. You have to fill this out. First question. Do you have a communicable disease, physical or mental disorder, or are you a drug abuser or addict? You can always depend on a junkie to check the right box. But here's the jewel in Homeland's crown. Have you ever been or are you now involved in espionage? Or sabotage? Or in terrorist activities, or genocide, or between 1933 and 1945 were involved in any way in persecutions associated with Nazi Germany or its allies. I was in deep cover for over 30 years. I worked for the CIA, the FBI, the MI5, and MI6. I lost my identity, my wife, my children. Nay, I almost lost my mind. And what undid me after all these years? Why did I check yes? Why would I? Oh, you're good, Homeland Security. You're very, very good. And then here's another interesting thing on the card. It says, important, if you answered yes to any of the above, please contact the American Embassy before you travel. Now, they don't give it to you till you're about to land. So I don't understand, unless, of course, we're going to Australia, which, as you know, when you get there, it's yesterday. So maybe yes, because you go through the event horizon or something, and the toilet goes the other way, and then yes, maybe. Now, also when I was in Australia, I went to V Festival, a music festival sponsored by, sponsored by Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Music, what have you. And I saw the band Madness. Fantastic. Fantastic. And so, I love them so much, I was actually sort of dancing, which is highly unusual. We don't have the time for me to explain how unusual that is, but I'm not a dancer as a rule, but I was. And there was kind of an attractive gentleman dancing near me, and we're chitter-chattering. And then I ran out of things to say. And I didn't want him to leave, so I just said, I'm so excited to see Madness. I haven't seen them since 1982. And then he said, I wasn't even born in 1982. Now, come on. I'm gonna tell you something. This is true. Not that I've been lying about anything else, but listen, I'm gonna tell you something that's true. Do you know, there are people that were born in 1989. That's real. That's true. There are people that were born in 1989. I have met them. I actually met somebody born in 1991. How is that technically possible? that I was already a blackout drunk with an eating disorder and you were just joining us. You were just joining us. I don't even understand. Look at them, they're cheering. So cocky, they're so cocky. Again, I'm not mad at you. But listen, you young people, with your twittering and your creating of content, or what is it, queefing? The stuff that, is that what it is? Twittering. Queefing. I don't know what you young people are calling it with this stuff. You're just creating content. You're creating content. You're creating content. Now listen, young people, I understand narcissism clearly. Clearly, I understand narcissism. But at least I have the decency to hate myself. And that's what's missing from the young people. The young people don't have the debilitating self-loathing and the second guessing and all of that. And you're so, with your skin, feeling your oats there with your great skin. You're so cocky it's almost dewy. What bothers... Whitey is blowing up the moon and I can't get a decent porn minimizer. I don't understand that. Where's the technology? It's probably going into the mattresses. The revolution, which, by the way, apparently will be televised. The mattress revolution. So, what else did I want to... Oh, I learned how to say something in Australian. Would you like to hear? Ready? Natalie Portman. Thank you. Rosetta Stone. I also learned to say, I was in Italy. Would you like to hear some Italian I picked up? James Franco. From the freaks and the geeks. Why so sad, James Franco? Thank you. I know. It's good. Like I said, Rosetta Stone. It's amazing. It's like a total immersion. Gucci Poram. James Franco. Look at that. I just remembered that right now. I don't mean to be preaching at you at all, but if you can leave here edified in some way, you got the Spanx. The second thing is flip-flops, not politically, on your feet. Flip-flop, open-toed shoes. Open-toed for the fellas, mandals, whatever, what you're wearing. I don't know. But the slip-on shoes. Now, there's a lot of concerns here, but the first one I will address is gender-specific, and then we'll widen out. This one's for the fellas with the open-toed shoes. Guys, what can we do to get you to clip your toenails, do you think? What do you think, collectively, as a culture, we could do to get you to clip your toenails? Also, your heels are so dry. Your heels are so very dry, it actually gives me the shivers. They're parched, your heels. Listen, there's a really simple way to remedy this, fellas, with your heels. Do you know the lotion that's by your bed? I'm not judging, I'm not accusing at all. I'm agnostic at best about it. The lotion that's by your bed. The lotion that's by your bed. Of an evening, when you bend to the task, just take an extra dollop of lotion and hit the heel on the way up. You're going that way. Just hit the heel, and then get her again on the way down. And then you put a sock over that. Now, get a new sock. I don't want to hear it. Get up, open the drawer, get another sock, put it on, and then you wake up in the morning and you got supple heels. You're welcome. Now, secondly, this is for both genders. This is about the rapture, as you know. The rapture's coming. No G. Rapture, it's like scrapbooking. It's no fun if there's a G. The rapture's coming. And also, as you know, scientifically speaking, the human body is 90% oily rags, which means a lot of us are going to go up like a powder keg. The atheists, the Jews, I didn't write the rules, but that's the way it is. There's going to be a lot of bursting into flames, and so the rest of you good people are going to have to bob and weave and negotiate in sandals? Are you kidding me? You're gonna have to move like lightning, for crying out loud. And then you're gonna get raptured up, quick as pan, and you're gonna lose at least one flip-flop. At least. And so you're gonna be walking around like this, and it's hell on your back. Okay, this last but not least, the zombies, the undead, / the infected. Have you seen how fast they're running? Have you seen how fast? Hey, this is not your father's zombie. Listen, in my day, the undead, they were unwieldy. They moved like this. You could pretend to be one of them. You could shove them. You had a real shot. That's not the case anymore. There's a documentary about it. It's called 28 Days Later. It happened in London. Jesus. Anyway, you guys have been great. Thank you so much. Good night.
Janeane Garofalo! That's it. That's it. There's no more show. Please give it up to all the comedians you've seen tonight. Join us next time.